Dr. S. Saumea, vice-chancelière de l'Université du Tamilnadu pour la musique et les arts. Madame Bhavna Pradyumna, présidente fondatrice du Conservatoire indien de Paris.
Good morning, everyone. We are starting the signing of Memorandum of Understanding ceremony. So, as part of the ceremony, we want to share our vision, what it means to us, and what are the steps we are taking. So, for that, I would request Bhavana to kindly say a few words.
Bonjour à tous. Avec la permission de Son Excellence, ambassadeur Javed Ashraf, de Madame Samia, première adjointe au maire, et de Madame Dr. Samia, vice-chancelière, ainsi que de tous les dignitaires et amis présents. Mesdames et messieurs, fondé il y a plus de 8 ans, le Conservatoire carnatique a connu une croissance remarquable dans le terme d'étudiants et d'événements organisés. Il s'est imposé comme un pôle d'excellence pour la musique et les arts indiens en France. Inspiré par la renommée du Conservatoire français, nous avons créé le Conservatoire carnatique de Paris en 2015. Notre ambition, proposer un enseignement de haut niveau dans le domaine de la musique, de la danse, du yoga et de la philosophie. Également, à travers la culture indienne et l'art, notre objectif depuis la création est d'unir tout en célébrant la diversité. Initialement dédié à la promotion de la musique carnatique, le Conservatoire a élargi son champ d'action au fil d'années pour imposer l'ensemble des formes d'art et des cultures indiennes, incluant la danse, le yoga, le théâtre et la littérature. Cette évolution s'est traduite par un changement de nom en 2023, Conservatoire indien de Paris, reflétant désormais la richesse et la diversité de ces disciplines. Aujourd'hui, nous sommes également fiers de vous annoncer la signature de la convention d'entente avec l'Université de Tamilnadu, une étape cruciale dans la concrétisation de notre vision. Cette convention ouvre de nouvelles voies de collaboration et renforce notre engagement à promouvoir la musique, la danse et les arts indiens en France et au-delà. Elle représente un partenaire solide et durable qui soutient notre mission de devenir une référence incontournable dans le paysage culturel et éducatif européen. Fort de ses ambitions, le Conservatoire indien de Paris s'engage à développer ses activités sur Paris, en France et en Europe, en s'appuyant sur une stratégie multidimensionnelle pour devenir une référence incontournable dans l'éducation, le spectacle de musique, artistique et culturel indien. Pour poursuivre cette aventure, nous avons besoin de chacun d'entre vous qui croit en notre projet. Nous recherchons des partenaires solides et sporadiques pour soutenir culturellement, économiquement et humainement nos ambitions. En conclusion, je tiens à exprimer ma profonde gratitude à tous ceux qui ont contribué à faire de cette journée un moment inoubliable. Ensemble, nous avons tracé un chemin vers l'excellence et l'innovation dans la promotion des arts et de la culture indienne. Que cette composition d'entente avec l'Université de Tamilnadu soit le point de départ d'une collaboration fructueuse et d'une grande aventure pour le Conservatoire indien de Paris. Je vous invite à continuer de nous soutenir dans notre mission de promouvoir la richesse et la diversité des arts indiens et à nous rejoindre dans cette passionnante entreprise. Merci à tous et que la musique et les arts continuent de nous unir et de nous inspirer. Merci encore.
Dr. S. Soumya, I now invite you to say a few words about this collaboration.
Bonjour, very good morning and good day to all of you here. I am extremely thrilled, ecstatic to be here, not just to perform for you all, but for a very important assignment on behalf of our university in Tamil Nadu, the Tamil Nadu Dr. J. Jayalalitha Music and Fine Arts University. It is but really befitting to have His Excellency, the Ambassador and Madam, to be a part of this, and I quite did not expect such a beautiful ceremony to be organized by Madam Bhavna and Mr. Pradyumna. This university is very unique, I would say, in the whole of India and I don't know elsewhere, because this university has courses not just in music and dance, Indian, but we also have fine arts. The oldest if I may say so, pre-independence of India, which is almost 1800s. Fine Arts College is affiliated to this university. Then we have the Sculpture College, which is very well known. Mahabalipuram, as you know, in Tamil Nadu is very, very well known and for its ancient sculptures during the Pallava times. Almost 5th-6th century AD sculptures. So this college is also affiliated to us. We also have the Film Institute. So it is basically an institute which combines the fine arts, performing arts and the visual arts. So I'm so happy. France, known for its culture, art. We have such beautiful paintings even inside this particular hall here. And the music itself, the culture as a whole. So I'm so happy that our university is associating with a conservatory, Indian Conservatory, Conservatory of Music, Indian Conservatory of Paris. We are going to be working on, we are going to be giving affiliation for grade level courses, something that perhaps people who learn Western music perhaps would know about the Trinity College of London, where they offer grades and examinations are conducted for them. So we have a similar structural system where 8 grades, the students, even though this university, we know and appreciate that art transcends even age barriers. So we would like to encourage people to start even at an early age of 8. So we have these great courses, which could be taken up by even an 8-year-old as early as that. Then we are going to be working on certain certificate courses and diploma. and then we will take it further to probably research at a later date. But the subjects are going to be dance, Bharatanatyam for starters, then of course the Indian music. When we say music, it is vocal, then the instruments like veena, violin, mridangam, and so on. Perhaps when we have more people here, we'll have even Nagaswaram, the traditional Nagaswaram and Tabla as well. Our university does offer undergraduate courses, graduate courses, as you say here, masters and PhD in all these. So we will slowly, certainly would love to work with Indian Conservatory of Paris. And the good thing would be the students who would, it's a gradual progression from the grade level, the certificate, the diploma, and then we have an advanced diploma, which is kind of a bridge course, which would encourage, which would help people to get into masters. So people who have, I don't know what you call it here, the grade 12, plus any undergraduate, an undergraduate in any subject. It need not be music necessarily. Along with this particular bridge course, if you are able to complete, then you can get into masters in our university, not just in our university, but any university in Tamil Nadu. In fact, our university does not, usually universities have a territorial jurisdiction, but the uniqueness of this university is that we don't have a territorial jurisdiction in the sense it is, we could affiliate as many people, as many institutions within the whole of Tamil Nadu. So that is one advantage. And seated in Chennai, which is known as the hub, the everything of music and dance, the culture, acknowledged by the UNESCO. So what more can we ask for if we're going to have a fantastic tie between Chennai and Paris here today? Both being fantastic cultural hubs. So I'm really looking forward to take this really for cultural relations between the two countries, the cities first and then the countries. And we're also very happy to say that Madam Bhavna, the Indian Conservatory, would be the sole representative in the whole of France. Very happy to collaborate with them on this. Perfect. So thank you very much once again, not only for the concert that will follow, but for this wonderful opportunity also. Thank you. Looking forward to working.
Madame Samia Balaka vous invite à dire quelques mots. Monsieur l'ambassadeur d'Inde en France, cher Jawad Ashraf, Madame la présidente du Conservatoire indien, cher Bhavana, Madame l'adjointe au maire du 16e arrondissement chargée des solidarités, chère Marie-Hélène, Madame la présidente de l'OMS du 16e, cher Michel, Monsieur le président de l'OFED, cher Jean Maher, chers amis, je ne peux pas tous vous citer, c'est avec un immense plaisir que je vous accueille aujourd'hui, au nom du maire Jérémy Redler et de toute l'équipe municipale, à la mairie du 16e arrondissement, à l'occasion du festival Paris Tyagaraja, un événement majeur dédié à la célébration de la culture indienne à travers la musique et la danse. Permettez-moi tout d'abord d'exprimer mon respect et mon amitié à son Excellence, Monsieur l'ambassadeur Jawad Ashraf, qui honore cet événement de sa présence. Je tiens également à saluer chaleureusement Madame Bhavana Pradyumna, présidente du Conservatoire indien de Paris, dont le dévouement et la passion ont rendu possible cette merveilleuse initiative. Je tiens également à féliciter le Conservatoire indien de Paris et toute son équipe, monsieur, pour la qualité des nombreux événements qu'il organise, dont une grande partie, je le rappelle, se déroule ici, à la mairie du 16e arrondissement, et nous en sommes très fiers. La mairie du 16e est très fière de s'associer à cette célébration, témoignant ainsi de l'amitié profonde entre nos deux nations. N'est-ce pas, cher Pooja, deuxième secrétaire, que j'ai oublié de citer au début, mais qui nous accompagne dans toutes ces relations très très fraternelles entre la mairie du 16e arrondissement et l'ambassade. Aujourd'hui, d'ailleurs, nous mettons particulièrement à l'honneur la musique et les compositions du célèbre compositeur indien Tyagaraja, figure emblématique de l'art carnatique. Originaire du sud de l'Inde, cet artiste mondialement reconnu ne cesse de nous enchanter par sa musicalité, sa poésie et son rythme. Le 16e arrondissement de Paris, résolument engagé dans la valorisation de la diversité culturelle et le soutien aux arts, peut-être parce que nous avons la plupart des ambassades présentes sur notre territoire, est très honoré d'accueillir un événement d'une telle envergure. C'est un témoignage supplémentaire de notre volonté de promouvoir le dialogue interculturel et les échanges artistiques entre nos communautés. Mesdames et messieurs, je vous invite à vous laisser emporter par les mélodies et les danses qui animeront cette journée. Puissent ces moments être une source d'inspiration et de connexion, renforçant ainsi les liens, l'amitié et la collaboration entre la France et l'Inde. Je vous remercie.
I now invite His Excellency Sri Javed Ashraf to say a few words about this collaboration.
First of all, I'm sorry you have to keep switching between French and English. It must be a little tiring on the mind. You just heard someone start in French, then went to English, back to French, and now once again to English. So, Madam Samia Badar, always a pleasure to have you here, Tron Mayor, Dr. Somya, Bhavna, Tron Mayor. It is, I think, perhaps, apart from my embassy, the only other place I seem to visit more often, or most often, is Mary 16. And this must be, I have lost count of the number of times I have been here. And I would say that all credit for this is, of course, goes to the mayor for opening out the Mary to the embassies, in particular to the Indian embassy. But I'd say the real credit goes to our John Mayor Samia Badar, so please give her a big round of applause. You know, with the support we get from her, I sometimes feel we don't need our cultural center that is coming up. It's this Mary 16 can be served as our cultural center. But it really makes us really feel part of Mary 16. To the Indian Conservatory Paris, what used to be called the Carnatic Conservatory Paris. Once again, I'm here very recently for the launch of the 108th episode of the Bhagavad Gita video and the doodle, which we are working together in collaboration in order to convey the message, the timeless message, and the universal message of Bhagavad Gita in a very simple manner. But I'd like to congratulate you once again for yet another milestone in your journey, which has been there since 2015. And in the course of just these 9 years, you've really established a very strong presence in France, in Paris in particular, in the promotion of first Carnatic music and now more broadly in Indian classical dance and music, the performing arts. And to those of you who are familiar with it, perhaps no other civilization, no other culture has so many diverse forms of performing arts which are described as classical performing arts as we do in India. And so Bhavnaji has decided to, not just for the sake of making it more easy for people to understand, but to broaden the framework of her presentation of Indian performing arts. Also because I think I'd like to congratulate her and to IC Paris for being selected to represent and project Indian culture and its classical form in particular during the Paris Olympics and the Paralympics this year. So it's a really a great honor for IC Paris. When I came here to Paris on my posting, I have to say my first year went off in COVID, so I didn't have the privilege and the pleasure of experiencing how thriving and how vibrant the landscape for Indian art and culture in Paris is. I mean, we of course need to go back to 300 years ago, when France was one of the first countries that intellectually, culturally, artistically, spiritually discovered the timeless treasures of Indian civilization, Indian culture, and brought it to the people in Europe. Languages were taught here. Even today, INALCO has 6 or 7 Indian languages that are taught over there, and I find some of their products of INALCO speak better Telugu or Sanskrit or Hindi than people in India do. And so France has been a sort of a great center of appreciation, of study, of research, of scholarship on Indian culture, Indian civilization, Indian spiritual, cultural, philosophical and literary traditions, the performing arts. But it's only after COVID that I saw how vibrant it remains in its contemporary times, in every form. Whether we speak of yoga, or whether we speak of classical dances, or classical languages and literature. And this year, as you know, one of the highest civilian awards has been conferred on Dr. Filyazat for his contribution to the promotion of Sanskrit. So this has been a very gratifying and a very satisfying experience for us also. It can only be in Paris, I'm telling you honestly, where an audience can sit spellbound to watch a Kathakali artist on stage do the full makeup. In most places, people would leave before the performance begins. It can only happen in Paris. And I saw this very recently in how interested people were, because that's also part of the Kathakali tradition. It isn't just what they perform, it is how they enhance their visual expressions and the messages and the roles they perform with the makeup. So it's been something which is truly satisfying to see here. We've had a constant series of activities since in the past 3 years, including our own Namaste France last year, which was a mega festival of India, but also every weekend almost, except when France is on a holiday, which is not rare, which is quite frequent at times, that we have very high quality performances. I went for one last week, and again I'm going to go next weekend to another one. We even have a holy festival in Jada do Acclimatation which draws 30,000 people. I cannot think of anywhere in India, perhaps other than Mathura or Vrindavan, where you get 30,000 people together for Holi. This is the reflection of the greatness of France, the greatness of this nation. The people have a fascination for culture. It is a country that has made a major, unique contribution to human progress, but also to the cultural richness of human civilization across the world. France is appreciated. But it is also a country which is extremely open to ideas, to culture, to traditions from other places, and has in many ways, if you go to the museums, preserved and projected them in an extraordinary manner. You can see every part of the world, its heritage in the museums in France. And it is what gives France its unique place in the world, and why it places France as a major power, and soft power is so strong. And culture is also a critical part of India-France strategic partnership. We very often, focus our minds on our diplomatic, on our political relations, on our economic ties, on our collaborations in the fields of technology, in business and trade, in what we are doing in multilateral forums like the United Nations, or what we do to defend ourselves against those who challenge the international system or challenge peace. But the relationship is built through the hearts and minds of people, especially among democracies. And culture plays a most critical role in integrating, in building bridges of understanding, in bringing people's hearts and minds closer together. And that lays the foundation, not just the assessment of our national interests between countries. And during these last 1.5 years or so, we have seen an extraordinary progress in our relationship. And as you know, that Prime Minister Narendra Modi was the guest of honor here at the National Day celebrations last year on July 14, and President Emmanuel Macron was the guest of honor at our National Day celebration on January 26 in 2024. Unprecedented in a relationship between any two countries, that you have heads of government as guests of honor at successive national days of each other country. But if you look through all the statements that have been made, there is a large part devoted to culture, about enhancing cultural exchanges between our two countries. We are in fact working also with Academy Louvre for the reimagination and redevelopment of our National Museum in India, but also the efforts to promote performing arts in each other's country. That is why every other year we have Bonjour India in India and Namaste France in France. But whatever we do as embassies or as governments is nothing compared to what individuals and organizations are doing on their own. Truly, I was in Reunion Island a year and a half ago. I was in Guadeloupe and Martinique last year in October and December. In Guadeloupe and Martinique, we don't have embassies, we don't have a consulate. But I was humbled to see what a community of Indians there, 6 generations after their forebears came to Guadeloupe in 1854 and to Martinique also in 1854, are doing on their own with no support to promote and preserve and sustain their culture. Generation after generation. If they have forgotten Tamil as a language, but they have not forgotten the celebration of their culture and their festivals. And it is a tribute to the government of France and to the Republic and in the manner in which they have provided the space and the opportunities for people to continue to nurture and sustain and propagate their cultural traditions. And I see this in France. And I see this in different organizations, but I'd like to particularly say that the Indian Conservatory Paris is one of the finest examples of an institution that is doing so much to promote Indian culture, Indian performing arts, particularly the Carnatic. And I'll tell you something, that my own exposure coming from North India to the South Indian traditions, the Carnatic traditions, actually came about in Singapore, which is another Tamil city, really. And it is there that I realized that Chennai is truly, like Paris, a city that is the most vibrant place in India insofar as nurturing and promoting classical traditions. There is absolutely no city in India which has, in a sense, venerated, which has nurtured, which has promoted every form of cultural tradition in India. Great place to promote literature, a great place to promote art, visual arts, performing arts, and in a way that ties together our spiritual, literary, and cultural traditions as nowhere else in India. And so today, I see the convergence of so much. Different wonderful streams coming together over here. The great city of Paris, with its unmatched place in the world as far as heritage, culture, and traditions are concerned. There is no city like Paris in the world. The great city of Chennai, with its absolutely top position in India as the carriers, as the flag bearers of our traditions and culture. And of IC Paris, which has really risen to the highest levels of representing the best of Indian performing arts, in particular the Carnatic and South Indian traditions. And this MOU is a milestone in the promotion of Indian culture over here in performing arts. Not just for French students, but imagine what it does to the children of the Indian diaspora that are born here, that lives here, that has this opportunity today to not necessarily have to go to Chennai. They will go to Chennai at some stage when they become senior, but to get that entire experience over here. This is no ordinary institution we are talking about. The Tamilnadu University of Art and Culture is truly a revered institution in India. And in Dr. Soumya, you have a person who is not just a great artist, just as Bhavna is not just a organizer and promoter of IC Paris. She's an enchanting singer in her own right. And Dr. Soumya is, of course, a globally known name. I was just speaking to someone in Singapore this morning who was mentioning to me that he knows that Dr. Soumya is here in Paris. I said, I'm going to see her in a while. And he was saying she's going to be part of a program we are doing in Melbourne and in Singapore. And yes, so as you can see, we are fortunate to have her here with us also, of course, Mr. Narayan and Mr. Tani. So really, this is bringing together so much of what is beautiful about France and India, what is so beautiful about Paris and Chennai, and about this glorious tradition of Carnatic music and of the traditional dance forms from India, including particularly Bharatanatyam, which I think the IC Conservatory is doing a great job in promoting. So we're really delighted to be here. I've taken a bit longer and kept you away from what will be another masterly and enchanting performance that we will witness. But let me conclude once again by thanking Mary 16 Mayor, but also a great ambassador, a great champion, and a great promoter, Dr. Sami Abdal, the Deputy Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for sharing your vision and your encouragement. It means a lot for us. C'est maintenant le moment de la signature de la convention d'entente.
So I will just read the first few pages of the memorandum just before signing the memorandum. This memorandum of understanding is entered into at Paris on the 28th day of April 2024 by and between the Tamilnadu Dr. J. Jayalalitha Music and Fine Arts University, having its office at Aryapuram, Chennai, represented by the Vice Chancellor, Dr. S. Soumya, hereinafter referred to as the University, which expression, unless repugnant to the context or meaning thereof, shall mean and include its legal representatives, successors, and permitted assigns on the one part, and the Indian Conservatory of Paris, a cultural organization registered with the Government of France, having its registered office at Rue du Général Largeau, Paris-16, France, represented by myself, the Bhavana Pradima, the founder president of Indian Conservatory of Paris, hereinafter referred to as the Indian Conservatory of Paris, Conservatoire de Paris, which expression, unless repugnant to the context of meaning thereof, shall mean and include its legal representatives, successors, and on the other part, witnessed as follows. So the main object of this collaboration is to offer certificate courses or any other further courses offered in the framework of collaboration, education, and conduct grade examinations in collaboration with the Tamilnadu Dr. J. Jayalalitha Music and Fine Arts University, Chennai. So I would kindly request Dr. Sonia to join us.
On this special occasion to mark our happiness, we request Soumya Akka to kindly present this wonderful lamp to Samya Badatkara. So, as I said, as we started with Asatoma Satkamaya, this is a traditional lamp which we would like for our friendship to deepen, for the joy to spread, for the knowledge to spread. I would request Bhavana Pradyumna to kindly present the Deepa to a traditional lamp to Javid Ashraf ji, our dear ambassador sir. It's an honor for us. It's a beautiful way to symbolize the friendship between the two nations, the friendship between the two cities, and also the ongoing relationship what we aspire with the Tamilnadu University. So to represent this, it's a symbolic way to initiate or start this journey. Thank you so much, Javid Ashraf sir. Thank you so much, Samya Badat ma'am. It's been an honor to have you on stage. Soumyaka, it was a pleasure to have you on stage and to have this wonderful moment. It's a moment of joy for everyone from Indian Conservatory of Paris. So I would request a few key people to come on stage, please, our core members who would be our engine of growth going forward. So our board members to come on stage. Rajkumar Mercier, Pierre Guillaume Day,
Monsieur Pierre Guillaume Day, Rajkumar Mercier également, Dr. Rajkumar Mercier, directeur stratégie et projet, Monsieur Pierre Guillaume Day, directeur du réseau d'affaires, Dr. Priya Raman, responsable développement des relations académiques internationales, Supriya Balasubramanian, responsable événementiel, musique et danse, Pradyumna Kanakapura, responsable événementiel et logistique, j'invite également Madame Pooja Priyadarshini à venir nous rejoindre sur scène. J'invite un autre membre de notre équipe, Myriam, responsable marketing et communication.
Et le secrétaire, Madame Nadine.
On peut le recharger pour l'instant. Hein.